Hi, my name is Edgar and I work with Cogstate, and this is a description of a poster developed for the AD/PD meeting in Vienna looking at clinical outcome assessments for rare tauopathies. There are a number of findings pointing to the importance of tau pathology in many neurodegenerative diseases, but in particular there are a number of primary tauopathies of particular interest. These are diseases like progressive supranuclear palsy, FTLD, tau, and corticobasal degeneration. Several of these are termed rare tauopathies and are targets for treatment with anti-tau therapies. A couple of challenges have been recognized around the development and selection of clinical outcome assessments for these clinical trials. And when we say clinical outcome assessment, we're thinking about those tools that measure how patients feel and function in the disease. So those challenges really arise because of the way that we define tauopathies, and there may be overlapping clinical presentation between them. But two, we may see because of that overlapping clinical presentation that there have been mixed trials in the literature where, for example, we might classify a population as Parkinsonism that might encompass both Parkinson's disease but also progressive supranuclear palsy, multiple system atrophy, essential tremor. And then in lumping those diseases together underneath a clinical presentation, we might see that common clinical outcome assessment tools are being used for different diseases, but also we have studies which are trying to assess many different kinds of concepts with clinical outcome assessments, and they may be looking at motor function, cognitive function, global outcome measures, also behavioural and neuropsychiatric outcomes. And so we can see that trials then, in the way that they look at clinical outcome assessment, are very complex, and challenges arise then in terms of patient burden, but also we're seeing to some extent perhaps some lack of patient relevance for the outcome measures. And this review then is really focused on the diversity of approaches to clinical outcome assessment for rare tauopathies and what we might do in order to try and refine the strategies that we use to identify and select measures, but also in developing new measures.